The other day I was talking to Nelson and I asked him, what do you think of Cyril? He had this to say.
Boost. And it looks like Nelson is not the only one, because absolutely everyone hates the NHI. Because according to this article, all of Cyril's bootlickers now hate the taste of liver. It's weird how that works out.
Yeah, so this is the news that Cyril signed the NHI into law. And we already did this. There's a video yesterday. And in that video we said, yeah, don't panic, because it's probably going to be stuck in courts until Jesus comes back. On the plus side, Jesus is probably coming back pretty soon, given the shit state of everything at the moment.
Yeah, he really is. So let's see what these people have to say. So Adrian Gore says there are fundamental flaws in the NHI and it may take decades for those flaws to, be figured out. Business Unity South Africa says they want to go to court because, NHI is cuck and so is Cyril. And basically all the medical aides are saying, we can't afford any of this stuff. So no one really knows what to do. But of course, Cyril being Cyril, he hasn't listened to anyone other than himself, and he signed it anyway. But, even during the case of expropriation without compensation, there were a lot of corporates who were defending it, who said, oh, it could work in these circumstances. This is the first time that I've seen a bill have overarching hate against it. And I think that's a good thing.
Did you know Cyril was asked this morning, he said, why are you signing the NHI? And he said, well, you see, I'm signing the NHI because it's in the best interest of the Republic. He says, we are an outliner. The rest of the world are not outliers. They already have their own form of NHI. Yes, Cyril, they also have IQs greater than 72, also known as a retarded level IQ, which is the average level in South Africa. Look it up, it's true. But you see, the interesting part about this is he said, the only people that are unhappy with the NHI are those in privilege. Those that are affluent, who can afford a medical aid. White people, he said. So yes, it's the white people who don't want NHI, Ramon. And it's people like you and me that just want to see the poor, destitute black people getting substandard medical care with their sangomas because we're racist and evil. Directly from Cyril's mouth, my friend.
And by finding NHI, it's like having a Ferrari, but one of the wheels are flat. Instead of fixing the wheel, you just put in an extra turbo into the Ferrari without fixing the tire being flat. And then you wonder why the entire system and the Ferrari in this particular regard doesn't seem to work. And it's a particular thing of third worldism. When you have nothing left to offer, you offer these great big things that you can't possibly make into reality. You go to the ICJ to stop the genocide in Israel. You go to sign the NHI to create the Rolls Royce of healthcare systems. His words, not mine. It's farcical. It is ridiculous. It's like a heroin addict coming to you and saying he's going to build you the greatest mansions the world's ever known, never having laid a brick in his life. It's the same sort of thing. And at the end of the day, everyone hates it. Again, this is very important. Everyone hates it.
But you see, Cyril Ramaphosa does not hate it because he thinks that this is going to get him electoral victory because all the poor masses who can't go to hospitals in areas that they live in because Cyril has underfunded the hospitals in those areas. Anyway, those hospitals apparently are now going to suddenly become Wakanda because Cyril's going to have all the money in the world because he didn't have it before, right? I mean, he had the entire fiscus and never mind. But anyway, apparently so this is going to fix the ANC's troubles because what it's now going to allow them to do is to get above 50%. And so, ladies and gentlemen, screw your health, screw your happiness, screw the health of your kids, because ANC and Power Baby, and maybe they'll win the election now. Who knows? But what we do know is that, Ramon, you're right. Everybody hates it. They're all going to take it to court. It's going to be stuck in court until Wakanda actually happens in this place, which is never. And unfortunately, Ramon, when it doesn't happen, Cyril's just going to sit back and go, those evil whiteys who wanted their privilege, and they stopped it from happening.
We know the NHI won't be implemented, but perhaps it can be used politically by the EFF and the ANC, where they can just tell people, just go to Netcare, man. Just go to the private hospitals. They need to serve you. They need to heal you. And you can really see a place and a time when the poor might come out and literally burn down a hospital because they aren't giving us care because of racism, right? It's a little bit like a friend of mine we spoke earlier, and he said the construction mafia. It was created out of this sort of regulation. It wasn't really regulation. It said 30% of local people need to be involved in a particular project. And from that, rather, the construction mafia was born. The very same thing could happen with the NHI. They don't actually might not want to really implement it materially, but they can use it to really, really, really disrupt the healthcare system at large, which is what the ANC is known for, of course. They'd rather, burn people at the stake rather than, educate them. It sort of seems to be perhaps the People's War never really ended, despite them being in power.
That may very well be the case, Ramon, but unfortunately, NHR for now is law. And Cyril is going to celebrate it. He was on the steps holding a signed copy of the NHR bill because he's so proud of his, finding a pen skills, which took him quite a while, actually. Now, if you actually look at the actual picture put on there by News 24, Propaganda 24, another person that said, NHR will be fine. Now it's not fine. Funny how that goes. Anyway, if you actually look at all the people surrounding Cyril, I guarantee you none of these individuals are actually going to use NHI. In fact, Ramon, I would actually like to know something. Now that NHI has been signed into bill, will the government mandate that all, and I mean all, civil servants must forfeit their medical aids and use NHI doctors? Because if they're willing to do that, then maybe I'm willing to give them a fair shot. What do you think?
Well, the Public Servants Union did come out and say, our members aren't giving up on medical aid. So, like your NHI, you can stuff it, which is weird because the unions generally tend to be on the side of the ANC. You also had a while ago saying the police are not interested in giving up their medical aids because essentially what the ANC have done is like they've created this aspiring black middle class and now they're trying to fuck it by taking away their medical aids. But, as I said, everyone hates it, including the people that love the ANC. It seems like the ANC is rather desperate.
Desperate is one way to look at it, dumb is another. Ladies and gentlemen, you let us know in the comment section below. But what we will say to you before the Karen in the Western Cape tells us, immigrate, it's all hopeless, is it's really not hopeless. Because unfortunately, this is going to court now. And it will be in court for a very long time. So Cyril can say, I signed it into law. Don't really mean much, does it? Because most of the clauses in it are unconstitutional. He kind of knows that, and the amount of money that will come out against the NHR now will be staggering. With that being said, Ramon, I'm reminded of what you said yesterday. Why did we allow it to get to this state? The corporate South Africa should have understood the power dynamics in this country. They probably have allowed this to happen. By probably, I mean they did allow this to happen. And really, if you look at Momentum, Discovery, and all the medical aids, as of today, their share price is tanked. And I say, you bastards deserve it.